Jane Mansfield was born on April 19, 1933 in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. Her birth name was Vera Jane Palmer. She was a model, a singer, and an actress. She appeared in many movies, TV shows, and plays. She won a Golden Globe in 1957 for Best New Starlet. She was a classically trained pianist, violinist, and spoke 5 languages. I read that she had a genius IQ of over 160. She studied acting at the University of Dallas, the University of Texas at Austin, and UCLA. She was offered the role of Ginger on Gilligan's Island, but she turned it down. She was a glamorous actress who was often compared to Marilyn Monroe. They actually had a lot in common, including supposed trysts with President John F. Kennedy. Both were sex symbols, both were bleached blondes, both married at age 16, both appeared nude in Playboy magazine, and both died in their 30s. When Jane was asked what she thought of Marilyn, she replied, "Who's he?" Who do you prefer, Jane or Marilyn? Jane was the first American actress with a nude scene in a major movie. It was in the 1963 film called Promises, Promises. Some of her other films included The Girl Can't Help It, The Wayward Bus, Will Success Spoil a Rock Hunter, The Burglar, A Guide for the Married Man, and Too Hot to Handle, just to name a few. She had a tendency to stage publicity stunts that would get people talking about her. When her career started to slow down, she started drinking more. She was married 3 times and had 5 children, one of them being current actress Mariska Hargitay. Jane died in a horrible car wreck in 1967. 3 of her kids were in the back seat and survived. Her car crashed into the back of a tractor trailer just outside of New Orleans. She was not decapitated as some people have claimed. A year later, bars became required on all semi-truck trailers to avoid these accidents. They are commonly called Mansfield bars. Of course, it's not an official name, as some truckers have let me know. Jane was 34 years old. Paul Walker was born on September 12, 1973 in Glendale, California. He was an actor. His most famous role was as Brian O'Connor in the movie franchise The Fast and the Furious. Don't ask me how many times I saw the first one in the theater. He was in a Pampers commercial at age 2. His father and grandfather were both amateur boxers. His mom was a former model. Paul was raised as a Mormon. He had small parts in many TV shows. His first movie was called Monster in the Closet, released in 1986. With roles in movies such as Pleasantville, Joyride, She's All That, and Varsity Blues, he was really making a name for himself. The 2001 movie The Fast and the Furious took him to another level. It was a huge hit. Here's a fun fact. He auditioned to be Superman in the 2006 movie called Superman Returns. He acknowledged he could have made a lot of money from it, but he said it just wasn't for him. His movies Running Scared and Into the Blue kind of flew under the radar, but I enjoyed them. Some of the TV shows he appeared in were Who's the Boss?, Highway to Heaven, Charles in Charge, The Young and the Restless, and Touched by an Angel, just to name a few. He had many interests besides acting, like surfing, jiu-jitsu, marine biology, traveling, and racing cars. He never married and had 1 daughter named Meadow. He died in November of 2013. Paul was a passenger in a car with his friend and business associate named Roger Rodas. They were at one of his charity events to help victims of a typhoon. He helped start the charity called Reach Out Worldwide. The 2005 Porsche Carrera GT he was in crashed at a high rate of speed and burst into flames. Both passengers died. Paul was 40 years old. Eddie Cochran was born on October 3, 1938 in Albert Lea, Minnesota. His birth name was Ray Edward Cochran. He was a singer, songwriter, musician, producer, and an actor. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1987 by Mick Jones from the band Foreigner. He had the looks, talent, charisma, and the hair needed to be a big star. He sang songs about fast cars, burning desire, and teenage angst. You know his most popular song, called Summertime Blues, released in 1958, which he co-wrote. My favorite song from him is called Something Else. He dabbled in rockabilly, country, blues, and rock and roll. He died way too young. Paul McCartney played Eddie's song called 20 Flight Rock when he auditioned for John Lennon. Brian Setzer portrayed Eddie in the 1987 film called La Bamba. Here is Brian showing the guitar pick Eddie's fiancée gave him. This was in his guitar case at the crash scene when Eddie lost his life. After his family moved to Southern California, he quit high school early to pursue music. In 1954, he formed a duo with Hank Cochran, who was not related to him. He had a cameo in the 1956 film called The Girl Can't Help It. He went solo and appeared in more movies and released influential songs. He never married, although he was engaged to a songwriter named Sharon Sheely and had no children. After his friend Buddy Holly died in a plane crash, he hoped to tour less. He recorded a heart-wrenching song called 3 Stars in tribute to Buddy, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens. He had a feeling he would die young also. He wanted to concentrate on creating music in the studio. He needed money, so he decided to tour the UK in 1960. After a show in England, he was heading to Heathrow Airport. The taxi he was in crashed. Eddie was ejected and died the next day. Singer Gene Vincent and Sharon were both in the car but survived. Eddie was 21 years old. Falco was born on February 19, 1957 in Vienna, Austria. His birth name was Johann Holzel. He was a singer, a musician, and a songwriter. He sold over 20 million albums. The band called the Bloodhound Gang kind of paid tribute to Falco with their song called Mope. The world is a little bit more gray without Falco in it. You probably know him from his biggest hit song called Rock Me Amadeus, released in 1985, which he helped write. It was a massive hit in many parts of the world. The only other German language songs I like are 99 Luftballons by Nena and Du Hast by Rammstein. He was supposed to be a triplet, but he was the only child who survived. He showed interest in music at a very young age. He was given a baby grand piano at age 4. He knew he wanted to be a famous pop star one day. His mom wanted him to be an insurance salesman, but he had bigger plans. After serving 8 months in the Austrian army, he played the bass guitar in a couple of bands and started using the stage name of Falco. He went solo and had his first hit with the song Der Kommissar in late 1981. It was originally intended to just be a B-side to some other song. Some of his other bigger songs included Genie, Vienna Calling, Out of the Dark, and The Sound of Music. He sang a duet with the actress Brigitte Nielsen called Body Next to Body. Unfortunately, he became addicted to drugs and alcohol. He had a reputation of being a womanizer and being difficult to work with. He released more albums, but he never reached the success of Rock Me Amadeus. He was married once and had no children. In 1986, his wife gave birth to a girl, but it was proven to not be his. He died in February of 1998 from a car accident in the Dominican Republic. He was planning a big comeback. He had high levels of drugs and alcohol in his system at the time of the crash. He was 40 years old. Harry Chapin was born on December 7, 1942 in New York. He's known for being a singer, musician, and songwriter. His biggest hit song was called Cats in the Cradle, which was released in 1974. It was his only #1 song. He sold over 16 million albums. He had 14 hit songs. He told great stories through his music. He was an activist for many charitable causes, including ending world hunger. He said, "When in doubt, do something." In 1987, he was posthumously awarded the Congressional Gold Medal for his humanitarian work. It's been said that the world was a better place with him in it. After high school, he attended the U.S. Air Force Academy and Cornell University. He did not graduate. He wanted to become a filmmaker, but music was his calling. His first hit song was called Taxi and released in 1972. He had 2 Grammy nominations and released 9 studio albums. He was married once and had 5 children. 3 were adopted by him from his wife's previous relationship. He died in 1981 from a horrible car accident. He was on his way to play a free benefit concert when a tractor trailer ran into the back of his car. He was 38 years old.